my entire life. She was my big sister, so she was there when I was born, and she's the one person until last February who had been in my life the entire time that I still knew. The only, maybe the only upside of it I can see is that from time to time I'd say something to my sister about, what happened when we were kids, and because she was 3 years older than me, she always had a little clearer memory of things than I did. So she'd always say, well, no, that's not really how it was like this. So now, Susie, I get the last word. No, is there somebody else here who has something I want to say about Susie?
I do.
Okay.
Susie was a charter member of our Mains and Tail Club, and my family, my husband, my children were all part of this club, and we would go to different people's homes and have rides, and then we'd eat, and we had great times. It was a lot of fun. One time we were riding, my boys were probably 10, maybe 11, and they each had a pony, and it had been wet, and Susie fell off in a mud puddle. So my father-in-law, being a gracious guy, offered her his sweatshirt. So she peels off what she was wearing, and of course she wasn't wearing anything underneath. And my boy's eyes were out on stalks, and just couldn't believe it. But that's Susie. I mean, that was Susie.
I'd like to say something. Susie was fun.
I guess except for Mike, I've probably known Susie. I'm sorry, Ted.
No, go ahead, Ski.
Except for Mike, I've probably known Susan the longest of anybody here. Susan and I were married in 1964. Father of our two great kids. The mother of our two great kids. I'm the father. She said about Crazy Side. First time I met her. Both went to the University of Pennsylvania. And fraternity brother of mine brought these 3 girls up to fraternity, okay, and he said, this is Sam, Melvin, and Joe, okay. Well, one was Mary Jo or Sandy Jo or something was the Joe. Sam was Susie because, Susie the Del Mode, that was her initials, so Sam. And the third one just needed something, so she became Melvin, okay. That's how I first met Susie. It was a lot of craziness after that, a lot of good times. For everything, we've stayed friends our whole life, and I think we both appreciated what each other was, what we were once to each other.
Yeah. One word to describe Susie was fun. Okay, it was just like, along with being a talented artist and a gourmet cook and a lot of other things, she was our social secretary. I mean, just like for the whole town, when we had a parade, she was the one that made Thorndike, which I think was a copy of the statue on your swimming pool.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I think there was a dragon on there.
Right.
Okay, we made this huge dragon, that a lot of people still remember. She was behind the restaurant, the Griffin restaurant, and she started the Mains and Tails Trail Riding Club, and she did a lot for this community. But from a more personal note, she helped me develop a stronger appreciation of classical music, of literature, and opera. Rest in peace, Susie. We won't forget you.
When Susie came back this time, it's kind of like she was never gone. Susie, you could pick up a conversation that you'd had 20 years ago, and it was like she was never gone. And when she came back, she just jumped right back into everything, as if she had not left at all. She would come to open mic and listen to music, and she loved that, and she would share stories about the family and everything. It was just wonderful. And when one Tuesday night I mentioned to her that we had this community chorus going, and she might really enjoy singing with us. And 2 nights later, she was at rehearsal. I mean, she just dove in, and she got sick right before we had our first concert that she had joined us to prepare for. So she was never actually able to perform with us, but she loved it. She loved it so much, and she was so sad she missed that performance. It was for our Christmas concert last year. And so I'm just really glad that we're able to come and sing for Suzi, because she loved the music, and she just was such a part of the community in the very short time that she was back. She was such a part of the community. And I'll always be grateful that she came back for the short time she did and was able to reunite with so many of us.
Sometimes I think the word free spirit is a bit of a cliche, but putting that aside, if it goes in the dictionary, I think her picture should go next to it. I think the greatest thing I got from my mother was a demonstration that I didn't have to follow the path, the well-worn path followed by many, many, many people before me, that if I wanted to take a different one, I could. And if I wanted to make a new one, I could. I miss my mom. Somewhere out there, up there, there's an endless field of grass and flowers, and running through that field is a chestnut Morgan who's been running riderless for a long time, but now the horse is bearing a young brown-haired woman, and he bears her willingly, and he's happy to see her again. Ride long, Mom. Ride free.